Here's why 99% of professional athletes will never be faithful to the women they're dating, and I promise it's most likely not for the reason you're probably thinking. So this video was actually inspired by a TikTok creator who found out her NFL fiance cheated on her the same day he proposed. Not only did he cheat before he popped the question, he had to spin the block and cheat again after. Now, don't get me wrong, that is absolutely Olympic levels of infidelity, but I don't think anyone's shocked to find out that a professional athlete was unfaithful. They have definitely been putting work in over time to earn that reputation as cheaters, but it makes you wonder, what exactly would it take for a man with unlimited options at his fingertips to pick one of them and decide to be faithful to them? And that is exactly what we'll be talking about in today's video. Now, on the surface, these men may appear to be superhuman, but internally they're still running the same operating system and programming as the rest of us. So they're pretty much still bound by the same laws and principles of human nature, just like everyone else. And although they do have circumstances that can make monogamy more challenging for them than it is for the average person, they still have those same human desires to build a connection and a family and a life with someone that they value and that they love. A connection that they understand will be jeopardized by disloyalty. And this is the reason why I do believe that it is 100% possible for a professional athlete to not only get married, but to also take those vows seriously and to remain faithful to you till death do you part. The reason why it doesn't play out like that for most is because their relationship is lacking one extremely important variable, which is respect. More specifically, his respect for the woman that he's with. And as women, it's really not easy for us to wrap our head around the fact that a man can take care of you, act like he loves you, be addicted to your body, all while simultaneously not respecting you. Thanks to the Disney propaganda that we as women have been subjected to from a very young age, we have these rose-colored glasses that make us believe that respect is something that a man is just going to give out to us. In reality, it's actually something that we have to pretty much take by force. And that's even more true when you're dealing with these high-achieving, high-testosterone men like professional athletes. Having a professional athlete as your man is like owning a freaking Great Pyrenees. It can be awesome, but if you're inexperienced and you don't know what you're doing, buckle up because, my friend, you are in for a nightmare. The truth is, these men are not for the weak, and honestly, most women are not cut out to be with these types of men because most women are not built to operate in the way that they need to in order to not be chewed up and spit out by them. We're talking about men who have not only mastered their bodies, but also their minds on a level that 99% of the population will never be able to relate to. These men are not just handing out respect on a silver platter because they honestly don't have any incentive to do that when the majority of the women they come across will throw their standards out of the window in a way that he never would in order to be picked by him. As soon as you do what every other woman does, you go from being indispensable to interchangeable, and he's no longer scared to lose you. But when you go into it conducting yourself in a way that makes him say, I don't want to lose this one and I have to come correct, that is when you're going to see a different side of him. And the harsh truth is that since it's your behavior that elicits this response from him, the way he treats you is 100% within your control. Because even if deep down inside at his core, he's nothing more than a dirty, doggish, disloyal cheater who is incapable of being faithful, your high standards should have ran him away the first time y'all linked. And that's why it's so important that you ignore all this ChatGPT slop teaching you these superficial tactics and switch to content like this from a real human being who will teach you how to become the type of woman who not only commands respect, but also makes respect non-negotiable no matter who she's dealing with. Respect for these types of men boil down to you maintaining an equal power dynamic, meaning you're matching energy, you're matching his investment, and you don't do anything for him that he wouldn't do for you. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. The most damaging, irreversible, and unfortunately most common way to go from an equal power dynamic to the power dynamic being in his favor at your expense is by giving him marital benefits without him actually marrying you. And before you write this off as overkill, just think about how crazy the situation would be if he gave you marital benefits without being married to you. So that means him giving you access to half of his net worth without you actually being his wife. It was hard to get that out with a straight face because most of these athletes don't even want to get married unless his wife is signing a prenup. So needless to say, him giving you access to half of his net worth without you being his wife is just never going to happen. And that's because because doing that would give him a level of vulnerability that would be inappropriate for the amount of investment that you guys have currently made in each other. It would be foolish for him to make that level of investment into you before both of you have officially and legally decided that y'all are going to be together for life. Now, my question to you is that if he is this protective over money that he has an abundance of, and that could be made back if for some reason you were to leave with half, why don't you have that same energy for the one and only priceless body that you have? The reason why you do it is because you don't believe that he'll actually stick around unless you compromise yourself, because you feel like if you don't do it, another woman will. So at this point, it's basically a race to the bottom. So you don't have to tell him that you're scared to lose him, because this type of behavior is definitely letting him know. Confident, self-assured people don't take the risk of jeopardizing themselves in order to keep someone else around. And that's why he loses respect for you. In his head, he thinks you're kind of dumb because he knows that he would never put up with the things that you're tolerating. He also feels like you have poor judgment because he knows that you're letting him get away with things that the average man most likely wouldn't be able to get away with. I know that when you're dealing with these athletes, it's so tempting to get swept off your feet into this whirlwind romance and give him this special treatment, but if you'll bend the rules for him, he'll definitely enjoy the benefits, but he will not think that you are good at making decisions. Because how is he supposed to respect a woman who lets her feelings get in the way of making logical decisions? And I know it's easy to get distracted by the six-pack abs and the $1 million contracts, but none of these things are going to make him a good husband to you or a good father to your kids. The purpose of your boundaries is to protect you and your future, so I don't care who he is, you cannot afford to go easy on him or bend the rules for him. If you do try to cut corners, I promise it's not going to be worth your time, because the fact that he can't meet your boundaries is proof that he doesn't qualify to be a good husband. The only way you'll be able to earn his respect is by him seeing that you are capable of doing what's best for you, even when it's hard. If you want more tactical advice on getting these types of men to respect you, you can read my Substack article titled How to Tame a Professional Athlete. But to sum it all up, I absolutely believe that athletes are capable of being faithful. They're some of the most disciplined people on the planet, but you just have to demand faithfulness, not with your words, but with your behavior. And if you need help learning how to do that, you can work with me. I have the link in the description below.